can't get into a lot of the other HR details. Since then, we've had to fire him. I'm disappointed in the way it's worked out. I feel for the kids in this relationship. And like any marriage, it's hard for somebody outside the marriage to say how it went. If he just says those exact words, he's done.
No, wait, Clay.
That story
if you're
is over.
Urban, let me ask you, Urban, why'd you delete all those text messages? Huh? How did you have selective memory
but that is
when
after,
they started asking?
That's after the Big Ten media days. I'm saying in July when he showed up the first time and addressed. I think Urban Meyer lying to the media is what provided Jet.
Well, I think everybody agrees. Gene Smith even told, you look at the text message, that's what Gene Smith told him to do, be short.
Yeah. We got to go, but I'll just say this. There was a crime allegedly against the media, against Gene Smith, and against Ohio State. If everybody's outraged about those crimes, let Ohio State Gene Smith be outraged about it.
They're going to have you dotting I. Michigan quarterback dotting I. It's unbelievable.
Well, perhaps not surprisingly, the Urban Meyer controversy has led to more hand-wringing in the media about the sport of football in general, including Sports Illustrated, where a new column claims Ohio State's allegedly soft punishment of Meyer stems from a mythology about the sport's cultural significance, writing, quote, "The game itself is propped up as bigger and more important than anything that stands in its way. Here is a truth about why football is important, because lots of people watch NFL games on Sunday for entertainment. But here is a lie about why football is important, because it helps create some sort of national toughness that can't be manufactured anywhere else. I'm almost at a loss for whom to blame for this misguided notion that our collective durability in war and peace finds its roots in football." Look, Tim Layden wrote this piece, and I respect Tim Layden, but he's just misguided. He's exaggerated. He's created a straw man that the argument is that football is the reason why America's tough. Football helps a lot of kids like me, and I do think it builds character. And so I read Tim's piece and saw all these things he's attributed to football. All of them are applicable to Hollywood and entertainment.
Yeah.
So Michelle Bead or whoever else wants to swear off football, are they also going to swear off Hollywood and movies and everything else? We got the Me Too movement. Everybody, for as long as I know, has talked about casting couches in Hollywood. You got Kevin Spacey in Hollywood. All kinds of things, predatory things, overlooked in Hollywood. Are we swearing off movies and television shows and all of that? There is a war, an unfair, ridiculous war on football, and I'm sick of it.
I think what happens, guys, is you tweeted this and I saw it, is Michelle Beadle, for instance, going to swear off gymnastics? The answer would be no, despite the fact that there was a scandal around U.S. women's gymnastics, because sports and criminality sometimes run together. It's not, the sport is not causing the criminality. And I think that you read articles like this, there's a big distinction between people who are involved in football sometimes make bad decisions. Football is not causing them, by and large, to make those bad decisions, right? It's reflective of society. I remember when I read a good piece about domestic violence in football, and everybody's been focused on the NFL, college football. Police and military have infinitely higher rates of domestic violence, right? It's because young men sometimes make violent decisions that are indefensible in those categories. It's not because they play football. I think we're confusing oftentimes the cause of these situations.
Well, towards that, just as you said it dawned on me, the reason why it gets more attention is because nobody typically covers or knows who those people are. Right. They're rather anonymous. And whereas if there is some bad, ugly story that comes out, 10 years ago, certainly 20 years ago, it doesn't become national news because there's not social media to get it out everywhere. So I do think it creates this crazy echo chamber. It's not to say there aren't problems and there aren't things that need to be addressed and people don't need to evolve and have more awareness of it. I just think everything becomes an outrage from that.
I think you're right. There is a war on football, but, you know, Whitlock, we talked about this on the show. There seems to be two realities in America now. Online, social media, and then the real world. And there's a war on social media online, but then you go in the real world, and we all have kids. We go to our kids' birthday parties. We talk to dads, and they want to know about football. Who are you taking in fantasy? Who do you like in week one? Nobody brings up anything that's in this column. I've never talked to anyone on the streets, at the gym, at a kid's birthday party, anywhere, who wants to know about some of the stuff in this story. And I'm just puzzled as to where this is coming from, because in reality, people love football. I mean, the ratings don't lie. If you go on social media, guys, it's like the NBA is the biggest sport in this country.
Yeah.
And then in reality, you look at the TV ratings and what rules? By a mile. football.
I think there is a calculated decision to attack football to elevate other sports.
There's no question about it, and I don't want to go too big picture, but I can't help myself. There's a war on masculinity, and football is at the head of that. And it's the most masculine, popular thing we have in American culture. It's the #1 show on 5 different TV networks, and there are people that just don't want that to be the case. And so, again, Bruce said it, that when we talk about what goes on with policemen and people in the military, it doesn't get covered. The things that happen in Hollywood and in the movie industry, they get covered, but not without the vitriol, without the demonization of all of Hollywood. We're hearing the stories about what goes on in Hollywood, all the same things that go on in football. But no one says, well, it's the movies, it's Hollywood, it's the television shows that are doing this. Football unfairly attacked, and people need to stop it. Responsible people, the executives and the leaders in this country need to put their foots down. Again, we all make money with football. The reason this show, this network exists is because of football. I just can't believe these people that continue to attack football. And I'm not saying football is flawless. Nothing is. But my God, can we stop the unfair vitriolic attack and everybody involved in football? And every time someone does something wrong, when Urban Meyer's not honest with his athletic director at university, oh my God, football is the worst thing in the world. Give me a break.
Coming up, and commissioner of the NFL.
Coming up, Super Bowl MVP Nick Foles embarrassed himself last night. I'll tell you why.